Hey, it's Joddie Taylor of SnackySays. Welcome or welcome back to my podcast, the SnackySays podcast. Today I'm chatting about lunch ideas, non-vegan and vegan 2024 edition. I had a very similar post back in 2023. I make it sound like it was 20 years ago, last year, that got lost in the sauce because it wasn't a podcast episode and it wasn't in a newsletter. It was just a standalone post. And so I wanted to put it on your radar, and I also wanted to introduce some new recipe inspiration, lunch idea inspiration for 2024. So that post from 2023 is extensive. It's I already know in written form it is much longer than this podcast episode. So I'm going to put the link in the show notes. Please check it out if you're keen, because it features some of my favorite foodie YouTubers who actually didn't make, not so much they didn't make the cut, but they don't appear in this 2024 version. So definitely check it out. All right, let's for real hop on into it. So let's start with some recipe inspiration on YouTube. This is not an order of importance. I just think it's a great place to start in terms of ideas. YouTube being YouTube, once you click on one of these videos, they're going to start spitting out recipes, lunch ideas. So it'll take care of itself if you're interested in this topic. Number one, when I don't want to eat leftovers, I do this. That's by Sarah Nutrition Matters. That's her YouTube channel. She had leftovers from a Turkish restaurant. It's a very short video. I promise you, I don't know how she did it, but she made it seem almost like a brand new meal. When she was done, they did not look like leftovers. So this might give you some inspiration for what to do with your restaurant leftovers. Next up, from Matt Santos, also on YouTube. These are all YouTubers. Homemade chipotle chicken bowl. I don't even eat chicken, and I swear I watched this video like 10 times, this YouTube short, because I was like, wow, he really did that. And there's another video, another YouTube short that I'm going to share where it's like they spend not that much money, let's say 20, 30 bucks. I think in both cases it was a little bit under $20. Is that right? And then they make a meal, because you know when you eat out, he went to Chipotle and I think he spent $18 for one person, which blows my mind. Blows my mind. Do you remember when Chipotle first came out? It was not $18 for one person. Anyway, the recipe is simple enough. I mean, he gives not a brief overview. He walks you through it in like a minute or less because it is a YouTube short. I think if you like other types of chicken, like jerk chicken or roast chicken, maybe even fried chicken, there's a lot of different things you could do. One comment I saw that I want to highlight is he has guacamole and corn on top of his chicken, which I presume he cooled down before he put in the to-go container. You might want to store, especially the guacamole, you might want to store that separately in smaller containers and take it with you, because once you put it in the microwave, nobody wants hot guacamole. Anyway, I saw that in the comments, so I wanted to share. Next up, if you don't watch any other video, I recommend you watch this one of the 6 videos that I'm telling you about today. So this one is from Tasty Time on YouTube, and it's called Costco Bulk Food Storage Idea, 25 Small Portions and Freezing for Costco Beginners. So you go to Costco, you go to BJ's, you go to Sam's Club, whatever the bulk type shopping experiences in your area. Even if you're not a beginner, I would check this video out. She has ways to store, freeze, separate items. This has happened to me many times over, that I've gone to Costco or I've gone to BJ's or Sam's Club, and I'm ashamed to say, like, food waste is a huge problem. If you struggle with food waste and you find, like, you can't beat the price, so you get these big bulk items, but then you find yourself throwing food away or it gets rotten, especially for fresh produce, consider watching this. Like, if you don't watch anything else, watch this one. It's really good. She uses parchment paper, sometimes like a saran wrap, various containers, so many ideas. And she is storing things from salmon to pastries to grapes to pizza to sandwiches. She took this bread Did she slice it? It was already sliced. And she made these little pizza toast things and froze them. And then you just put them in the toaster when you want to eat them. Just brilliant. Check it out. Check it out. That's Tasty Time. She has a few Costco kind of haul and storage videos, and you can find these on YouTube. She's based in Japan. She's not speaking. She's not talking during the video. You can just put on the English subtitles or whatever language you're most comfortable reading. I think, if memory serves, it's not just English. There are a bunch of options. Okay, next up, what $20 gets you in Texas. This YouTube short is actually called My First Meal in Texas, and it's from Danny Kim on YouTube. With $20, they got chicken breast, macaroni, cheese, 2 different types of cheese, sourdough bread, I think butter and garlic, and the end result was just chef's kiss, like gourmet. If I ate chicken and I wasn't lactose intolerant, I would mess this up. You hear me? Please. This was exactly the type of meal that I would gobble up. All right. Timely. Let's go on. Let's move on to plant-based lunch ideas from Shakayla Felice. Formerly, this YouTube channel was called Sweet Greens Vegan. You might remember it as Sweet Greens Vegan. She's changed it to her name, which is Shakayla Felice. And so it's plant-based lunch ideas, high protein, what I eat in a week. Plenty ideas here. And in fact, if you're looking for meal ideas, she has plenty of what I eat in a day, what I eat in a week, recipes. I think you're going to find a lot of shopping tips and different products, especially if you're new to veganism or you just want to have like meatless Mondays. Check out her channel. She has plenty of ideas. Last but not least, this recipe intrigues me. I feel like it would do well at stadiums or amusement parks. Maybe if you could somehow put it on a stick, maybe change the shape. I bet it would, I think it would work as some kind of, almost like a kebab. And I think it would do well at casual restaurants, but you can make this at home, and the recipe is a home recipe. Potato chicken in the air fryer. That's, bear with me, the real title, also known as the best chicken breast recipe on YouTube. That's from Table Diary, Shiktak Ilgi. Shiktak Ilgi means table diary, literally in Korean. The screenshot, the freeze frame, you're gonna see the potato and chicken looking raw, but click on the video and fast forward if you want to. No, if you look at the first 20 seconds, you'll see the finished product, and he or she has a dipping sauce that looks easy to put together and yummy. Wow. So it's cubed chicken, cubed potatoes, looks like a very light batter. I watched this, but I didn't memorize the recipe. So it comes out, and then they put it in the air fryer, so it's like crunchy. Who doesn't love potatoes and chicken? They go very well together. And this is going to be crunchy because it's in the air fryer. You know what? I started speaking slower because I don't think I've ever had air fryer food. I don't have an air fryer. I just don't want to give up the counter space. But I love it in theory. I love the idea in theory. Anyway, color me intrigued. I think this is fascinating. So those are the 6 foodie YouTuber videos I'm sharing. Please check out the 2023 version. That post will be in the show notes because you'll have so many ideas. It's just an embarrassment of riches. Next up, I want to share some cookbooks. Tiffy cooks 88 Asian recipes. I've spoken about Tiffy Chen before. Her brand Kai Dang has Asian noodles and sauce, and it's just so delicious, so delicious. She sells out every time. I think she's they've stocked up twice, and as of this recording, they'll be stocking up again in a couple of months. Just simply delicious. I actually ordered this book even though I don't eat a lot of the things that she eats. But unfortunately, it arrived damaged, and I ended up returning it. It's like they put it in the box, but with no padding, so I guess it was just shifting around, and then it got here and it was banged up. So I returned it. I haven't replaced it yet, but I did look through it, and everything looks delicious and amazing. Check it out. One thing about cookbooks, You can always borrow them if they're available at your local library. I've done that several times over. I will borrow a cookbook. In this case, I just purchased it. I pre-ordered it. I didn't borrow it, but I will often borrow a cookbook because I want to see how many color photos there are to recipes. My preference is 1-to-1. I like a photo for every single recipe, not every few recipes, because, I eat with my eyes. So you can borrow, and then if you love it and you want to have it in your hands, you can buy it. So that's what I do. Damn Delicious Meal Prep. I owned this cookbook. It's from Chungah. I'm mispronouncing her name, I'm sure. Chungah. This is unusual for me to say. Once again, I don't eat like how she eats. So there's chicken, there's beef. I just had a hard time converting most of her lunch ideas into seafood options or like vegan-ish options. I don't know why, but I really struggled with it. I wanted to love this book. I love her website, and I've cooked recipes from that website. I think right before I stopped eating meat, or maybe, well, yes, that would make sense, right? But delicious, delicious recipes. Check out her website if nothing else. The book works for meal prep and lunch ideas if you are an omnivore, for sure. There are plenty of ideas. I don't know what it was for me. Usually I'm just able to swap out proteins, but somehow I just couldn't make it work. It's probably me. Next up, Vegan at Times. I've spoken about this cookbook many times over. I love this cookbook. It's by Jessica Seinfeld. You will get plenty of ideas if you are vegan or vegan at times. You're not always vegan. You just want to have a meatless Monday. You just want to not eat. You just want to concentrate on like vegan type food every once in a while. This is the cookbook for you. Again, you can borrow it from the library. I have the physical copy, which happens to be right in front of me. Personally, for cookbooks, I like physical copies. Sometimes just to support the author, I will buy the physical copy and the ebook. But then I never refer back to the ebook. It's very rare. I just borrow the ebook to see what it's like, and then I'll usually buy the physical copy if I really enjoy it. Next up, Plant You Scrappy Cooking, 140 plus plant-based zero waste recipes from Carleigh Bodrug. Bodrug? Probably Bodrug. I'm probably mispronouncing her name. I haven't purchased this book. I have it on hold at the library. It's not yet available at my local library, but I have it on hold. Hopefully it'll come through soon. Check out her YouTube channel. Just by watching her YouTube videos, I subscribe to her YouTube channel. I was really curious about this book, and I was just talking about food waste, right? So I can't wait to get it. If you're keen, check it out as well. I have links in the show notes. You can buy it from your library or, of course, purchase it. Next up, one of my favorite cookbooks, Smitten Kitchen Every Day by Deb Perlman. I borrowed this cookbook a couple of times from the library. I haven't purchased it yet because similar to Chungah's book, there are a couple of things in there in Deb Perlman's cookbook that I really enjoy and I've made because I do eat seafood. She has a squid recipe that is chef's kiss, and I think a shrimp recipe that I've made in this book. So because I know that there are 1 or 2 recipes in this cookbook that I love, I just borrow it from the library and I follow the recipe again and then cook what I'm cooking. But if I'm ever an omnivore again, this will probably be the first book that I buy to have near me. And by the way, these are my impressions. I don't think these folks are marketing their cookbooks as like for omnivores or for pescatarians. Just my words. Last but not least, Mina Rome. Her cookbook is called All Day Vegan. I own that cookbook and I do recommend it. Also check out her YouTube channel. Very, very approachable. For me, I feel like she's great with quick meals, simple meals, snack ideas, and she'll have themes like, what to pack when you're studying, or what I ate in New York when she's traveling, or what I ate in Sweden. Check her YouTube channel out if you haven't already. Last but not least, I want to go over some of my meal prep supplies and lunch supplies. I use glass straws. The two brands I recommend are Ecou, ECOU, and Hummingbird. Links in the show notes. I have a food jar that I mostly use for coffee and tea. Though you know what? It would be phenomenal for soup because that's what it's made for. It's made for hot food. And mine is from Zoju Rishi and Hello Kitty. That's a collab that they did. It's still available, widely available. You can find it. And it's frequently on sale. Comes in white and black. I have the white one with gold. Hello Kitty is in gold. The black one is black and gold, I think. Next up, Omigo Bento Box. The color I have is pink. That color doesn't seem to be available anymore, but they have pastel colors. Links will be in the show notes. It's 3 interlocking containers. It's not super large. If you don't want to use it for lunch, you can use it like for snacks, which I've done. The lunch box that I have for commuting, for travel, for I'm going to be out all day and I don't want to buy food, or it's going to be difficult for me to get food because I don't eat, like I said, meat or poultry or dairy or eggs. Generally, I have broken that here and there because, life is too short and too sweet. And I'm just not going to starve. If I'm traveling or out and there's nothing else available, or it's something I feel like eating, like when I was traveling a few months ago, I take some lactate and I keep it moving. I have the Titan Deep Freeze Duffel Lunch Box. I feel like I went down a little rabbit hole and I didn't get to that. I got mine from BJ's, but they sell out a lot. So I put a link where you can get a similar lunchbox from Titan. And you can use ice packs with these, which is critical if you're going to be out and about all day. If you're driving, you're in the car. This has saved my bacon. Saved my bacon so many times because the ice packs last for several hours. So I can have my overnight oats. I can have like whatever snacks or like little meals, Sammy's, sandwiches, chef's kiss, perfect. And is that it? Wooden spoons. Wooden spoons. And one more thing. So wooden spoons, I got mine from Amazon. Feed Maymay used these spoons in one of her YouTube videos and she got asked about it and shared the link. They're from Amazon. 6 come in an order. To date, I've given one away and I've used 2, and I just opened the second one maybe a week or 2 ago. It's Japanese style. It's a long handle. I love eating with these things. I generally prefer eating with spoons. I don't know. It's probably like so I can get more. With forks, I feel like my rice or whatever I'm eating might be falling through the forks, and then I worry about cleaning it properly. It's my own little, in Yiddish, madness, like my little madness. Meshuggah? Now I have to look it up. Meshuggah. Right? Meshuggah. Where do I get my pronunciations from? Okay. Last is 2 containers. Rubbermaid Brilliance. They come in different sizes. They're leak-proof containers. I think they're great, especially if you're heating up hot meals. And then Sistema to-go snack cups. These are teeny tiny size, but they're perfect for nuts and fruits, or maybe if you have like a handful of cherries or almonds. They travel very well. I only have one of these and I've had it for several years, and it's like I can't recommend it enough. And I think I got mine at Walmart. All right, that is it. Lunch Ideas 2024 edition. So I started by saying these are lunch ideas. You can definitely, I personally like heavier meals for breakfast. So I might have some of these lunch ideas for breakfast and have something lighter later in the day. So I hope that these give you some ideas for your lunch or any meal that you want. If you check out the 2023 post, like I said, it's pretty extensive. So you can get even more ideas. And there are folks that I think I've only mentioned there and maybe not in the newsletter and not in the podcast. Again, it's pretty extensive. Let me know if you want another version of this. I can just focus on one specific thing, I don't know, chicken only recipes using only carrots. I'm making that up. Whatever came to mind when I said that, please let me know. You can send me a message. I love this new feature on Substack. So you'll be able, there'll be a button in the show notes if you're on Substack. I know that there are some issues with links and buttons on other platforms. I'm talking with customer service at Substack. We've been having some email exchanges to see what's up with the hyperlinks. Like, for example, I know, of course, you're not going to be able to see images in your show notes if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, but it'd be nice if you could click on hyperlinks. So working on that. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Mani mogoyo, which is Korean for eat a lot. Eat a lot. Enjoy. Let me know if you check out any of these recipes or you found something new and interesting on YouTube or another cookbook. If there are utensils or supplies that you use for lunch or meal prep that you recommend, please let me know. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast episode or any of my podcast episodes, please share with a friend or three. And if you haven't already, please subscribe at joddie.substack.com. That's joddie.substack.com. Thank you for listening.